Welcome to Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School channel. Myself Priya teacher, and I am going to teach science subject for class 7. So children, in our previous class we discussed about life cycle of silk moth. So this is from lesson number 3, fiber to fabric. So we discussed about there are 4 stages of life cycle of silk moth. So which 4 stages are there in life cycle of silk moth? Okay, very good. So these are, first one it is a eggs, second one it is a caterpillar, third one it is a pupa, and fourth one it is a butterfly. So these are 4th stages of life cycle of silk moth. And can you tell me, so where first silk is discovered, or in which country silk was first discovered? Okay, very good. So in China silk was discovered first. Okay, or we can say only in China silk was discovered before 5000 years ago. Okay, so in our today's lesson also we are going to learn about silk fiber. So let us start lesson number 3, fiber to fabric, and our sub point is silk. So in about silk we discussed life cycle, but in today's session we are going to learn the processing of silk fiber, or how we can get silk fiber from cocoon. So here that heading is there, from cocoon to silk. It means it is nothing but processing of silk fiber, from which we are getting this fiber from cocoon. So to obtain silk, silk moths are reared. So what we have to rear here? So we have to rear silk moth, though it is a, because of it is a animal fiber. Which animal we have to rear here? Silk moth we have to rear here. After rearing, their cocoons are collected to get threads. So after rearing, their cocoons are collected to get threads. So which life stage is there? So pupa is there. So after 3rd stage we are going to collect cocoons, and from these cocoons we can get threads, or also it is called as a yarn. So from this yarn we are going to make a silk fiber. So in this processing of silk fiber there are 2 steps are included. So which 2 steps are there? So there are 2 steps by which silk is obtained from cocoon. First step, it is a rearing of silk moth, and second one it is processing of silk. So let us start with our first step, rearing of silkworm. So first stage, rearing. So sericulture is the rearing of silkworms for producing silk. So sericulture is the process. So that process, when we rear silkworm, so rearing of silkworm, this process is known as sericulture. So we purposely going to rear these silkworms to obtain or to produce silk fiber, and this whole process it is known as sericulture. So sericulture is the rearing of silkworms for producing silk. The female silkworm lays hundreds of eggs at a time. So I told you in life cycle, when that silk moth, female silk moth is going to lay eggs, at the same time she can lay 350 or above 350 eggs at a same time on mulberry leaves. So hundreds of, we can say, or above 350 eggs she can lay eggs at the same time. So these eggs are stored carefully on strips or cloths or paper. So when these silkworms are in jungle, at that time no one is going to see these silkworms or to see these eggs. But here in rearing of silkworm, we are purposely going to rear these silkworms. Because of that, we have to store these eggs. So we can get the next stage of this life cycle of silk moth. Okay. So, that is why we have to store these eggs, whatever eggs are there, 100, 200, 300 or above it, we have to collect these eggs or we have to store these eggs. So, what we have to do first? So, these eggs are very delicate. So, because of that we have to handle it carefully, and then we have to keep these eggs on a strips of clothes, or also we can keep these eggs on a paper. Then what will be the next step? So, next we have to keep these eggs in a suitable temperature. So, these eggs are warmed to the suitable temperature. So, we have to warm these eggs in a suitable temperature. So, that is also called as a incubation. So, when we are going to keep these eggs in a particular temperature, that is called as a incubation. So, we are going to warm it. So, its warming, it is also known as incubation. So, the egg larvae hatch caterpillar. So, what happens after keeping these eggs in a warm place, or we can say in a particular or suitable temperature, what happens there? So, the egg larvae hatch caterpillar. So, the egg larvae is coming out from this egg, and that is known as caterpillar. So, first stage it is egg, and which stage we are getting then after warming these eggs? So, second stage we are going to see after keeping these eggs in a suitable temperature, that is known as caterpillar here. Then the larvae are kept in clean boxes. So, whatever larvae are going to come out from these hatched eggs, we have to collect these larvae again. So, as we collected eggs, after coming out these caterpillars from the eggs or hatching out the eggs, we have to again collect these caterpillars, and we have to keep in a clean box. So, we have to take a clean box and we have to keep these caterpillars in a clean box. So, where they feed on mulberry leaves. So, not we have to keep these caterpillar into a box, also we have to provide them food. When we will provide food to these caterpillar, then only they can grow and they can go for the next stage of their life. So, what is the next stage of their life? It is a pupa. So, before formation of pupa, we have to provide them mulberry leaves. As we know that these caterpillars are going to continuously eat the mulberry leaves, and after continue eating of these mulberry leaves for 25 to 30 days, then only these caterpillars are going to in their next stage, which is known as pupa. Okay. So, they are for this stage we have to provide them mulberry leaves. We have to keep these mulberry leaves in that box where we are keeping these caterpillars. So, they feeds for about 25 to 30 days and grown in a size. So, when they are in a larval stage, they are small in size, and after 25 or 30 days, when they are going to have mulberry leaves or eat mulberry leaves, they are growing in size and they are becoming larger and larger after 30 days. Okay. The caterpillar then secretes a liquid which hardens on coming in contact with air and changes in fine thread. So, after 25 to 30 days, what happens? These caterpillars are going to secrete a secretion, and that secretion, it is nothing but a protein. Okay. So, that secretion is a protein, and when they are going to secrete this secretion, and that protein is going to come in contact with air, what happens with that protein? So, it becomes hard. Okay. So, it becomes hard when it comes in contact with air. So, that protein, which is a secretion of this caterpillar, that secretion is going to hard after coming in contact with air and changes in fine thread, and after becoming hard or harder, what happens with that secretion or with that protein? So it is going to be convert or change into a thread. Okay. And then next step, what is the next step? The caterpillar covers itself completely with these fine fibers. This covering is called as cocoon. So when these caterpillars are going to secrete protein fiber and it is converted into in a fine thread or in a fine fiber, what happens? These caterpillars are going to cover themselves with this fiber, which is hardened after secretion. Okay. So after secretion, that secretion becomes hard and it is changed into some fine fiber, and this fine fiber is going to cover this caterpillar. And while that completion of that covering of that this fine fiber with this fine fiber, what happens? That covering, it is called as a cocoon, and that stage of that caterpillar inside this cocoon, that is called as a pupa. So this is the third stage. So after covering, what happens? Cocoons we are getting. So the silkworm develops into a silk moth inside the cocoon. So that is the next stage of these silkworms. That is the fourth one, which is known as silk moth. So after pupa, there is a fourth stage which is known as silk moth, or we can say butterfly. So that butterfly stage is going to grow inside this cocoon. So when these cocoons are going to develop properly or going to cover properly, and inside that caterpillars are going to grow into fourth stage, which is a butterfly. And here we are not going to make them to go in a fourth stage, because we are rearing these silk moths for our particular purpose, which is obtaining silk fiber. So to obtain silk fiber, what we have to do? So we have to not allow to go this pupa stage into a butterfly stage. So we have to stop this stage at the third stage. Okay. So see, next process, it is a processing of silk. So as I told, from this third stage we can get silk fiber. So processing of silk fiber start from third stage of these silk moths or silk worm. So life cycle of silk moth, and in this life cycle, third stage, after third stage, that actually processing of silk fiber we can start. So in processing of silk fiber, this processing of silk fiber, it is differentiated into again 3 steps. Okay. So first one, processing of silk, it is divided into 2 stages. First one, it is, I told you which one? So rearing of silkworm, and second one, processing. And again this processing of silk, it is differentiated or classified into 3 steps. So first one, it is reeling, second one, it is spinning, and third one, it is weaving. So let us know these all 3 stages or these all 3 steps one by one. First one, it is reeling. After gathering all cocoons, the insects inside them are killed. So what happens in third stage of life cycle of silk moth? There is a pupa stage which is in a cocoon. So we have to collect these cocoons, and after gathering all these cocoons, the insect inside them are killed. So we are going to kill these insects inside this cocoon only. So how we are going to kill them? So we are going to kill them by boiling or keeping them in a ovens. So what we have to do? So we have to keep these cocoons into a hot water or boiling water, or also we can keep these cocoons into a oven. So because of that, what will happen there? So these insects which are inside these cocoons, they are going to die, and we can easily collect the fiber which is there in a cocoon. So we have to kill them. Then silk fiber is obtained from the cocoons, and this process is called as a reeling, and this whole process it is known as a reeling. So let us move to next process, which is a spinning. So spinning of fiber. So in spinning of fiber, what is there? It is the process in which silk fibers are twisted together to form yarn. So these silk fibers are going to twist together and they are going to form a yarn, and after that spinning is done by manually or machines. So we know there are different types of machines by which we can spin such types of fibers. So when we are going to separate or twist these fibers after killing the insect inside the cocoon, we will get twisted fibers, and these twisted fibers again we have to spin it, and it can be done by manually or by machines. Then last step of this processing of silk, it is weaving. So what it means weaving? Weaving, it means we are going to weave this fiber together or into each other. So we can get a particular type of a cloth. So a silk cloth is made by weaving of yarns or threads. So these yarns or threads we are going to weave, and then we can get a silk cloth. Okay. So this is the processing of silk fiber. So in this silk fiber we saw that there are two main steps of processing of silk fiber, we can say, or from cocoon when we are going to obtain silk fiber, there are two major steps. First one, rearing of silkworm, and second one, it is processing of silk. So in first step we saw that we have to rear these silkworms. It means we have to collect the eggs of silkworm, then we have to make them feed on the mulberry leaves. When that caterpillar comes out or hatch out, we have to provide them food to become larger in size, and when they become larger in size and they complete their second stage, they will go into third stage, and then after third stage, completion of third stage, we have to collect these cocoons and we have to boil it, we have to keep it in a warm place or in a oven, so that insect will die and we can get this cocoon fibers, silk fibers, and after that we can spin and weave it into a silk cloth. So this is the processing of silk fiber. So let us see a video related to this processing of silk fiber.
Sericulture. In this module, you will learn about sericulture. Silk is a fabric with an attractive luster and drape. Called the queen of fibers, it is used not only to make beautiful clothing, but also for upholstery and soft furnishings such as curtains, cushions and wall coverings. Silk is produced naturally by larva of silk moth. The best variety of silk is obtained from the larva of the silk moth, Bombyx mori. The practice of rearing silkworms in captivity to produce silk on a large scale is called sericulture. Sericulture starts with laying of eggs by the silk moth. The adult yellowish-white female moth lays pinhead-sized, slightly yellowish eggs on a special paper set out by the silk farmer. The eggs are uniformly spread on egg frames and then covered with tissue paper and an outer frame. These frames are kept in an incubation chamber for about 20 days, where they hatch due to the warmth. After 20 days, egg frames are taken out, kept on a tray and opened. In these 20 days, eggs hatch into about half a centimeter long black larvae. These egg frames having larvae are then covered with fresh mulberry leaves by the silk farmer. The larvae then crawl out of the egg frames and feed on the mulberry leaves day and night for 4 to 6 weeks and grow into an adult larvae. After approximately 6 weeks, the adult larvae stop feeding. Farmers transfer these larvae to mountages. Each larva then produces a single continuous silken thread and wraps this thread around itself to form a protective case called a cocoon. The cocoon formation completes in 3 days. The larva first changes into a pupa and then into an adult silk moth which breaks the thread of the cocoon and comes out of it. Since the silk thread of the cocoons is damaged by the silk moth while coming out, silk farmers usually kill them by putting 10-day-old cocoons into hot water. The hot water also loosens the long silken threads of the cocoons. Loosened threads from several cocoons are then wound into yarns to make strong threads which are woven into cloth. In this module you have learnt sericulture is the practice of rearing silkworms to produce silk on a large scale. Sericulture involves the following steps: laying of eggs by silk moths, hatching of eggs into larvae, formation of adult larvae, formation of cocoons, and extraction of silk threads.
Okay. So children, hope you understand this concept. So for clear idea, I am going to play one more time this video.
Sericulture. In this module, you will learn about sericulture. Silk is a fabric with an attractive luster and drape. Called the queen of fibers, it is used not only to make beautiful clothing, but also for upholstery and soft furnishings such as curtains, cushions, and wall coverings. Silk is produced naturally by larva of silk moth. The best variety of silk is obtained from the larva of the silk moth, Bombyx mori. The practice of rearing silkworms in captivity to produce silk on a large scale is called sericulture. Sericulture starts with laying of eggs by the silk moth. The adult yellowish-white female moth lays pinhead-sized, slightly yellowish eggs on a special paper set out by the silk farmer. The eggs are uniformly spread on egg frames and then covered with tissue paper and an outer frame. These frames are kept in an incubation chamber for about 20 days where they hatch due to the warmth. After 20 days, egg frames are taken out, kept on a tray and opened. In these 20 days, eggs hatch into about half a centimeter long black larvae. These egg frames having larvae are then covered with fresh mulberry leaves by the silk farmer. The larvae then crawl out of the egg frames and feed on the mulberry leaves day and night for 4 to 6 weeks and grow into an adult larvae. After approximately 6 weeks, the adult larvae stop feeding. Farmers transfer these larvae to mountages. Each larva then produces a single continuous silken thread and wraps this thread around itself to form a protective case called a cocoon. The cocoon formation completes in 3 days. The larva first changes into a pupa and then into an adult silk moth which breaks the thread of the cocoon and comes out of it. Since the silk thread of the cocoons is damaged by the silk moth while coming out, silk farmers usually kill them by putting 10-day-old cocoons into hot water. The hot water also loosens the long silken threads of the cocoons. Loosened threads from several cocoons are then wound into yarns to make strong threads which are woven into cloth. In this module you have learnt.
Okay. So hope you understood what is the exact procedure of sericulture. So let us know about uses of silk. So what are the uses of silk? So silk is used to form or to make different types of clothes. Okay, also it is used to make different types of carpets, and also it is used, silk fibers are used to making of saris, making of dress, makings of different types of kurtas, or we can say Indian types of clothes. So this is the uses, these are the uses of silk. So students, we done here. Okay, so we completed or we finished lesson number 3 here. So let us take a short recap of this lesson. So we discussed in this lesson, we discussed there are different types of fibers. So which types of fibers are there? Also there are different types of animals from which we are getting different types of fiber. So in this lesson specially we learned about animal fiber, two types of animal fiber. First one it is a wool and second one it is a silk. So wool fiber we can obtain from different types of animals which are named as sheep, goat, then camel, rabbit, okay, and also from where we can get this, or where we rear these types of animals to obtain wool. So in Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, in Sikkim, okay, in also Rajasthan and Gujarat also we can find these animals from which we can rear and we can get wool. And then we learned about processing of wool. So in processing of wool, what we have to do, or industries are going to do? So industries are going to rear first those animals which can give us a wool fiber. So these animals are reared, and also breeding is there. By breeding they are going to select those animals which are having a good quality of fleece, and these animals are going to rear and breed there in a farm or in industry, and then these peoples are going to shear this fleece. So shearing, so 9 steps are there. I am not going to repeat these steps. So these 9 steps, what we are going to do? So from these 9 steps we have to remove that fleece, and then we have to wash it or we have to clean it properly. So all these steps we can do manually also and by machines also. So these we have to wash it, this fleece, then we have to sort it as per their quality, as per their color, because it is maybe in brown color, in white color, like this we have to sort it. Then we have to after sorting we have to dry it, and after drying we have to card it, carding we have to dye it, and after dyeing we have to spin it, and after spinning we have to weave it into different types of clothes. So this is about wool fiber, and then today we discussed about a silk fiber. So in silk fiber, there are silkworms are used. This silk fiber is also a animal fiber. So animal fiber is animal is used, here is a silkworm. So from this silkworm we have to perform these steps. Just now you see here in a video. So I am not going to repeat it. By reeling and by processing of silk we get silk fiber. Okay. So now I am going to tell you an activity here. So which is a activity number 3.6. So what it is, what is the aim of this activity? So to confirm either wool and silk fibers are animal fibers and nylon is a synthetic fiber. So in short I am going to tell you here. So what is the requirement for this activity? It is given in a textbook. So what is the requirement? So we have to we need or we require a wool fiber, nylon fiber and silk fiber, and also we need a candle, then matchstick, and then what we have to do, the procedure I am going to explain you here. So you have to only understand this procedure, okay, this activity. You can't do it at your home. If you want to do this activity at your home, so you have to do it in front of your parents only, when with your parents, okay. So what is the procedure here? So we have to take a wool fiber or woolen cloth, and edge of that woolen cloth we have to keep on that candle, burning candle, and we have to observe. So you will observe that that wool cloth is going to burn, and after burn it what happens, a particular type of smell you can feel there. Okay, so particular smell is there, so which you will feel it is a burning of a like a protein or burning like a animal, like this you can feel that smelling or odor there. Okay, then second fiber is a silk fiber, so silk cloth also you have to do same activity, and nylon fiber also you have to do same activity. So what you will observe there, so you will observe that nylon fiber is only having a different type of smell, it is not having any type of smell. So sorry, it is not having a smell like a wool fiber and silk fiber. Silk fiber and wool fiber are having smell, odor, but that nylon fiber is having a plastic, okay, smell like a plastic burnt, okay, there. So why? Because of this, because these are natural fibers, wool and silk, and nylon is a synthetic fiber. So this is the activity which can prove you, so these nylons are synthetic fibers and wool and silk are natural fibers. So okay, hope you understood this activity also. So you have to understand only, don't do it. Okay, so we finished this lesson, we will stop here. Next lesson we will start in our next session. Till then, thank you and bye bye.